Hello again. The first one was light. Now we're getting into something serious, something deeper. So grab your glass of water. I like water. This really is water. But you grab your glass of your drink and let's get into it. So, how to be a man, part 2. One thing that you have to understand about being a man is that you have to speak up. My father, my grandfather, and every other man in my life when I was a boy would always say, listen, somebody talking to you, you better speak up. In the islands, we say, wait, put some bass in your voice. My daddy, he used to switch the V for the W sometimes. So he'd say, put some bass in your voice. Which basically means speak with some level of authority, some level of decency and assertiveness, as though you are a leader. Maybe you weren't born a leader, but you definitely gonna die a leader. You understand what I'm saying? So you gotta put some bass in your voice. Even if you wrong, what a man does is he puts his foot down and he speaks. Kevin Hart would say it with your chest. You understand what I'm saying? Now, we're gonna get to a man being corrected a little bit later, right? However, before you even can be corrected, I gotta hear what you say. And I have to be listening as well. One way to do that is for you to speak up. Another thing that men do when they are being a man, not something you could turn on and off, but you get what I'm saying, is they say what they mean and mean what they say. Now let me break this down, okay? Because a lot of people don't understand. See, it sounds like you're just repeating yourself, and for the most part you are, but it's not a redundant statement. A redundant statement is something where you say the same thing using different words. This is something different. This is what we call a repetition. In other words, it is an intentional repetition of words so that you understand the different meanings that it carries. So when you say what you mean, what you are doing is saying, listen, I don't eat pork, so don't give me pork. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, I don't eat pork. Not like on occasion, or if it's smelling right, or if I feeling up for it, or if I don't feel up for it. That's not what a man does. A man says what he means. And what I said was, I don't eat pork. You know how the sun doesn't rise at 12 a.m.? That's how I don't eat pork. You understand? Right. So I said what I meant. Now, how do you know that I mean what I say? With your actions. They say actions speak louder than words, but I say the actions won't speak at all if the words aren't spoken first. So I had to say what I meant. Then you would understand that I meant what I said. Another thing that should have been said first, but I wanted to put it in this specific position because, well, when men speak, you have to have other men that listen. And unfortunately, if you don't make it this far in the video, then you are not yet a man. Maybe you need to watch it a few more times. Maybe you need to exercise patience. Maybe you need something a little lighter. Or maybe you need to take a sip of whatever is in your drink. But what I want to state now, and to reiterate what I said in my very first Speaks video, is don't just talk, speak. A man speaks. See, boys, children, they just talk. People, uneducated people, people with no authority, with no sense of leadership, with no sense of discipline, they just talk. This is called BTSW Speaks. I am speaking to you. Sometimes it's prepared, sometimes it's off the top of my head, but what it always is, regardless of where it came from, is it's authentic, it's real, and I'm speaking to you because I have something to say, and I'm saying what I mean, and I'm meaning what I say. So, don't just talk, speak. Don't just say it with your chest, speak. In other words, like my father would say to me, and sometimes my mother, act like you got some sense and talk good. Obviously, the grammatically correct way to say that sentence or that phrase would be to speak well. You speak well, you speak eloquently, right? But the colloquial way to say it would be, hey, talk like you got some sense. Talk good. You is talk good. That's how we say it, honest. You is talk good. But only a man could speak well. Only a man could talk good. So if you could talk good, that's one attribute of being a man. So congratulations. But in case you didn't know, that's what a man does. A man don't talk. A man they speak. Now here's the big one. You know what? I gotta take another sip. Every other man that watched this video, that been following the series so far, I know y'all been agreeing with everything I said, but now I'm about to step on some toes because you know, this is me, this is what I do, and I do it every time without fail. I'm about to step on somebody's toes. You ready? You ready for it? Here it is. A man explains himself. Now for all of the females that are watching this video that sneak their way in, because clearly this was for men, but you here anyway, it's all right. We ain't mad at you. You heard what I said, and I said what I said, and I mean what I said, and I'll say it again. A man explains himself. Literally what I do, literally speaking, it automatically forces you to explain yourself. So it goes hand in hand like that a man explains himself. Because a man don't talk, a man they speak, like I said before. In other words, when you open your mouth and you put some bass in your voice and you start to say what you mean and mean what you say, automatically you are explaining yourself. And all I am telling you to do, if you choose to take my silly advice, is to explain yourself. Do everything in this video that I said. Explain yourself. Because that's what a man does. A man don't just speak, but when he speaks, he's explaining himself. And by the time he finished speaking, most likely you ain't got no questions. Why? Because he already explained it. Because he's a man. And that's what a man does.